Hey guys, just a little pre-video introduction. The reason I'm doing this video and I'm putting together these knights is because I'm not starting a Brettonian army, no, far be it, but sometimes I like to buy really unique looking models, and this box set really struck me as unique when I was first introduced to it. And I've been seeing a lot of YouTube channels that I really admire, a lot of YouTubers I really admire and respect, like Anne from the Sustainable Center, who's getting into Brettonians. He's got his orcs and goblins. Also, Once Bitten, oh, his battle reports just amazing, so well put together, so tactically sound, and so full of just really interesting painted, well-painted models, interesting insights, and just amazing stuff. And my good buddy, Ken Leonhardt, is collecting Brettonians as well, and is doing a little Project Brettonians. So, Brettonian fever, it's not quite, red hot on the YouTube, but I do respect the Brettonian look, and I do find it interesting, and I thought this was a great deal, so stay tuned to hear all about it, and thanks for watching. What up, players? It's Warboss Tail in this mud. Today we're going to be unboxing a box of Teutonic Knights from the Fireforge Games model range, and just look at this artwork. Isn't this flippin' amazing and awesome, and totally indicative of what you get inside. All of them are so dynamically posed and sculpted, and all of these figures are just going to be such a treat to look at. My friend Glenn over at, he owns Armchair Adventurers, and he showed this to me one day. He was like, hey, do you collect Brettonians? And I was like, I collect everything, baby. And he said, check out these knights. They're a lot, you get 12, whereas in the Games Workshop Brettonians, you only get 8 per box. So already you're getting more per box, and the price, if you're in America, I'm not gonna give exact price quotes, but I bought this retail $2.50 more than a box of 8 Brettonian Knights Errant / Knights of the Realm, and they look better. They look better. So it's actually, I know some of you who are watching my Warboss on the Road video couldn't really see the detail, but let's get some clearness on this fully painted up unit. Look at that. They are at a full charging gallop rather than the relaxed canter that the Brettonian Knights are at. But man, they just look so awesome. So we'll take you through the box, show you the options, put them together, and then I'll let you know what I think of the build, if the mold lines are kind of hard, how easy they were to put together, all of that stuff, if there's anything we have left in the box left over. Yeah, and let's zoom out just a little bit more again. Oop, sorry. And yeah, they also have these Templar Knights, which I also picked up, and they're called Mounted Sergeants over here, but I guess they're supposed to represent mounted yeomen, but I didn't really like the look of their faces on that one. They are plastic though, and I don't think Brettonians come with plastic mounted yeoman figures, so they would be a good option if you decide to, if you're a Brettonian player and you run that. But personally, I would just stick with these knights. So let's take a look at the sprues. You get 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you get 3 identical soldier sprues. So let's put 2 on the side and take a look at one. All the shields are flat. They're not, they don't have any kind of engravings on them. So if you are not a friend of transfers, then you're gonna have to freehand it. If you don't like to freehand, you're gonna have to use transfers. But I just love how each shield is differently, or 3 shields are differently shaped from the other 3. They look really nice. Lances, really tall and straight. The same thickness. They don't like blow up at the bottom with the handguard. Look really nice. You also get an option for hand weapons here: sword, mace. Look at the detail on the mace. Just looks really, really nice. The chainmail as well. Let's actually get in there nice and close so you can see the chainmail on these arms is really well done. Look at that. That is some very nice sculpting chainmail. On the other side, you've got an axe, a flail, which, kind of reminds me of the Skaven Plague monks. Not really a fan of that, but the chainmail arms holding the shields. Let's look at the bodies here. The torsos are attached to the legs, and they've got swords, holsters for swords. They're all bent forward like they're in the charge, and they all get cloaks down here. Isn't that great? Here are these little, what are these little rectangle things? Maybe they go on shields or something. We'll take a look at the instructions later to figure out what these are, but those are kind of fiddly, don't know about that. But look at all these helmets you get. If you have 3 identical sprues, each sprue has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 helmets. That means 30 helmets. That means you end up with 18 extra helmets. And I'm going to back up so you can see these helmets in a little bit better detail. You get 2... kind of remind me of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Except for, oh, what's up with this guy? And it's kind of Warriors of Chaos with little balls on the end. What's that for? Childproof? What? Why would you have little balls at the end of your horns? I still think they look pretty nice though. Yeah. So those are the knights. You get 3 of those sprues, and then you get 6 little horsey sprues that are all identical. 2 halves, head, and tails. So you can't really tell what they're gonna look like until they're all built up and put together. But they just look really, really nice, like they're all mid-gallop. They have that thing where, I mean, because they have to connect to the bases, they've got little connector things at the bottom, which I don't really like. And I usually try to clip away and figure out creative ways of doing other glue points. Like with the Black Knights, I tried to model some guys jumping over tombstones and stuff. But they have that on these guys. And so you get 6 of those little mini sprues. And you also get in the box one of these. It's like movement trays for your guys. So I guess bases / movement trays. You throw them on one of these, you glue like 4 on one of those, or 2, or 1? I don't know. How big are they? I'm kind of confused about this whole thing. It's like you could fit 1 on these, so maybe 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it looks like there's room for 16 knights, but you only get 12 in the box. But I guess it's an option, and I guess it's unit filler, or yeah, unit filler. You have 2 on 1, and then you have 4 on singles, so that you can just remove them. But if you're thinking of doing lance formations and using this as Games Workshop Warhammer Fantasy Battle Knights, then it's probably better to just either get your own movement trays, or to cut these guys off of their bases and put them on Games Workshop bases, so nobody, has any reason to claim modeling for advantage. I hate that. People who do that, not the people who actually model. Like, you put in... never mind. No ranting. Anyways, I'm gonna put these guys together, and I already know I'm gonna end up with a whole lot of different combinations. The instruction sheet, as it is really just one side that shows little... they look like almost like hand sketches, but they're all, you can tell the clean lines of the computer graphics. Put them together like this, you can see all the options. So where do these little squares go? Where do the squares? I don't get it. I don't understand. What are all those tiny little squares? I don't know. There's no musician option, which I find interesting, seeing as how if I were Fireforge Games, I would think that trying to get my models into Games Workshop games would be the thing to do. Oh wait, no, there is. Look, a little horn. Oh, didn't see that. Okay, so you get a standard up here, and you get a musician over there, and everybody else just has little standards and strips of cloth on their lance. I can't wait to put this together. If you're interested in picking up these guys, check out Fireforge Games. Fireforge Games, I think this is just for info, but the actual website is fireforge-games.com, and I believe that's it. Let me check real quickly. Yeah, fireforge-games.com, and get yourself one of these boxes. Ooh, hope you didn't see the price tag right there. I just realized that was another box. It still had the price tag on it. Okay, so I am going to go put these together, and we'll see what they look like in just a second. Stay with us. Alright, players, and we are back, and I am going in guerrilla style off the tripod to show you my knights. First of all, let's look at them all lined up. This is not how you would run your Brettonian knights. You'd run them in a lance formation, but I just had to line them up like this just because they were just too pokey otherwise. So you might notice that some of them I've modeled to have their lances down, and that's because I plan on modeling them and ranking them up in my unit in the lance formation. But let's get a shot from the front. Look at that. That is super awesome. So, okay, a review of putting these guys together. Some of these guys, like this chap over here, a little bit more light please. Some of these guys have, I glued the arms and the shield separately, because I didn't notice, but on 3 of the 6 shields on each sprue, 3 of the shields come like this, with a clean back. And the other 3 that were down here, but I used all of them, have the arms already attached to them. So those are usually the ones you see like here that are very close to the body. And then the ones where they're holding the shields up, like that guy on the corner, like this guy over here, are separately built, and I decided to give them a little bit of creative movement. And you can actually do more because they have 3 plain arms that are not attached to the shields that you could do, but the lances are so long and like they look really just cinematic. If I can say one thing about the models that I don't particularly like, it's that the helmets are so big, and considering that the rest of the models' torsos are not that, like they're realistically proportioned. I'm sorry about that. It looks like, if you really look at it, like almost like a kid or a teenager with a giant-sized helmet. But I don't know if that's just how the scale was, and it's like realistically proportioned, and that's how it's supposed to look. But just like, it's really obvious with my poor musician here. It looks like the body is like 1 or 2 millimeters smaller than whoever designed the helmet thought they should be. But seriously, look at this chainmail, and this is on plastic. Look how detailed and precise that chainmail is on the arm there. And then in comparison, look at the Black Knight here. I mean, just really, the Black Knight seems a lot like the holes between each link are a little bit bigger, and the chainmail on these knights seem a little bit more finely detailed. But fun kit to put together. For anybody who's ever put cavalry units together, you know that you have to put the horses on, you have to glue the horse pieces together, and then you have to glue the tail in, and then you have to glue the horse head over, and that might be a chore for some of you to have to sit through. And then you have to put the rider together, and the good thing was that the torso was already connected to the legs, and some of them are just so cinematically posed, like they're leaning forward, like the champion here, ready to attack. Others are kind of like leaning back, like they're at a more measured pace. Some of them are just leaning like forward or to the side, like their body's angled, and it gives you really good creativity and options when you're gluing the lance on. So also, you get so many horse heads left over because there's, I think, 3 horse heads per little mini sprue that I showed you earlier, and one of them is not clothed, and the other 2 are clothed. Like, I decided to use all cloth heads on my horses, just because I decided to make this the more fancy, ornate, like Grail Knights or Knights of the Realm, and then maybe I'll save the unhelmeted or the unclothed horse heads for like the errantry knights, the errant knights. Yeah, but you get a whole bunch of extra horse heads, and let's see what else you get on the sprue left over. So you get, there's 2 helmets that I clipped off and decided not to use, so let's count how much extras we have. There's 1, so 3, 4, 5. The sprue that I'm looking at right now has none. And then this sprue has 6, 7, 8. So you get 8 helmeted heads left over. Perfect for if you do, you know, unhelmeted knights. You could put their helmets, you leave them to decorate somewhere else on the model. Or if you play like a monster or an evil race like Chaos or Dark Elves or something like that, in fantasy, any kind of army really that would be fighting these knights, you could clip these 8 heads, extra 8 heads, and use them to decorate your banners or your units and stuff. Really awesome. Of course, you get all these hand weapons, and I've decided maybe I'll save these and use them, the ones holding like the swords and the mace and the flails and the axe, save them for I don't know, like, I don't know if they would fit Night Goblins or maybe Empire, or maybe even Men-at-Arms, just to give them Men-at-Arms Halberdiers kits a little bit of variety. Nah, I don't know. And they wouldn't really fit the Battle Pilgrims. This is really something that you can just put in your bits box and pull out for a rainy day, you know? Because look how slender the arms are. It's very, very individualized to these models. I decided to do a musician, so you get 1 extra lance kit. You also get shields, 2 shields. 3, 4 shields. And 5, 6. So, yeah, more hand weapons, and these little squares, which I never figured out what they're for, so I'm just gonna leave them, and if anybody knows what they're for, let me know. Okay, one mistake I made in the beginning of this video. I said there was only 10 knights, and I was cutting apart the horses and gluing them together, and I was like, there are a lot of horses. And then I looked at the box, and I realized it's 12, it's not 10. So for only literally a couple dollars more than the Brettonian knight set, you are getting a third more knights. You get 12, whereas in the Brettonian box set you only get 8. And it's true, you don't get as much options, like you don't get the knights errant heads, but I mean you get these riders. If you want to do knights errant, just give them the plain helmets instead of the helmets with all this decoration on top, and then don't give them cloaks, and you know, that would be fine, and you save yourself, you're gonna end up saving in the long run a whole bunch of money. So these kits I give a thumbs up to for viability, for affordability, and putting them together was pretty simple. Some of the bits are a little bit fiddly, and they are kind of thin, like the cloaks are pretty thin, and the arms are so small and fiddly. And you might also notice I didn't glue any of my guys to my horses because I want to be able to paint them separately, which is why some of them look like they might be like falling over, like they had a little bit too much of that fine Brettonian wine. But for ease of putting together, I would say, you know, like a good strong B. It's not quite an A, it's not quite a C, it's that, you know, slightly above average putting together. And that's just because, again, each one of these guys are going to look so different, whereas most of your Knights of the Realm models, because I think they only have 1 or 2 horse options, the ways the horses look, these horses actually look like, you know, they are individual and galloping and reacting to each other. I think that's the word, they're reacting to the other horses around them and just charging pell-mell forward. And that's what I love about this kit. So check it out, Fireforge miniatures. This box set is the Teutonic Knights. We'll come back and we'll do some Templar Knights. Another reason why I want to wrap this up is just because I'm seeing a lot of great Brettonian stuff out there. So yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm really happy with this kit. So thanks for watching, everybody. See you on the next one.